Okay, we're now recording. So I'd like to invite Paula up and thank you all for joining today. So, all right, Paula, come on back here.
There you go. Good morning and welcome to another fun-filled fact presentation of Florida-friendly landscapes. I'm a master gardener at Nassau County, and my presentation actually is attracting beneficial insects, or as I like to say, bon appetit, insects and what they eat. So, as always, we start with there we go. Okay. There's always a different laptops and boards working with. It's good to be flexible. As always, we start with the 9. You can't hear me? I'm trying to use my outside voice a lot, but thank you. All right. As always, we use, I'll be so sore my throat after this. As always, we use the Florida-friendly landscape 9 principles. I am concentrating on attracting wildlife, in particular, insects with a side order of IPM. This is touchy. The topics for discussion will be defining beneficial insects, attracting beneficial insects to get them to come to your yard, and habitats, natural or man-made. There we go. What is a beneficial insect? A beneficial insect can be described as natural enemies of pests, pollinators of plants, and contributors to decay of organic material and dead organisms. They are the hoovers of the ground. This little sweepers, and they just suck up this stuff and just take care of it. I have the 3 P's here: pollinators, predators, and parasitoids. As you can see, the biggest right there in the middle, and let's see if I have this. Oh, there we go. Oh, great. All right, I have the little, I don't have the red dot, so I have the arrow. This is a bee fly, cute little bugger, isn't it? It looks like a bee, so it can protect itself from predators. And right over here, we have a predator, a jumping spider. Now, there's going to be a part in this slide where if you are squeamish with spiders, I will ask you to close your eyes and leave the room or go to the bathroom. And then up here, we have a parasitic wasp, and it is actually laying eggs in this caterpillar. And okay, this is what horror movies are made out of. They lay the eggs get into their own little larva, and they eat the insect from the inside out. It's just gross. Ooh, so creepy. This is touchy. Okay, beneficial insects. I have some pollinators listed here, some predators, and some parasitoids. As you can see, my pick is the lacewing. It's frail, it's pretty, it's a nice color, and it's ferocious. They will lay their eggs in the evening on flowers like sunflower, daisy, alyssum asters, and dill and other herbs. They will also lay the eggs close to where they found the prey. So if you find their eggs, which are these, right? I'm like a bee here, or maybe a butterfly, just flitting around all over the place, trying to find my little pointer. These are the eggs. They're laid on a leaf or a grass, and they're really neat. They're filaments with a little egg on top. So if you see those on the plant, look at your plant for aphids or scale or something like that, because that's an indicator. But leave them alone so that these guys, when they become larvae, which are, you can see the little pinchers here. When they become larvae, they will go and consume all these yummy, yummy aphids. And this is the same larva, right? This is the same larva right down here. You can see this face. It's camouflage. It's in camo mode. Has a lot of dead insect carcasses and leaves and seeds and stuff on it, so it can crawl around and get its prey. Both adults and the larva are carnivores. Now, insects, as well as all living things, are in 5 kingdoms. They are classified scientifically based on their structure or morphology, which is a form of living organisms and with similarities in structure internally and externally. Ones that we are most familiar with using are plantee, or plants, and living things are animalia. As gardeners, we deal with those all the time. Those are the 2 kingdoms. I used my sample here, as you can see off to the side. This was discovered, and this is how it's broken down. And this over here is a 2-striped walking stick. But is it one? No. Look a little closer. There's 2. A male and a female, and they're having a grand old time. And this was during 4-H camp, clover buds, age 5 to 7. So hide your eyes, children. It's X-rated. Now, I'm more used to looking at the American or common walking, the northern common walking stick, and it's a little bit skinnier. Interesting fact about walking sticks. The common walking stick will lay their eggs by wherever they're at, whatever part of the tree or plant they're on, that dropping their eggs down into the leaf litter. The 2-striped walking sticks will climb down, find a couple places into the ground, and lay their eggs in different spots in the ground. They also are mostly out in the evening looking for food. And the 2-striped one has a very good defense mechanism. And the defense mechanism is that they have this, sorry about that. Oh, I'm really sorry about that. The other one I was whizzing on really good there. They get this chemical inside of them, which they probably get from a plant, and it's like an acidic sort of a chemical, and they can spit it out and squirt it out at their prey. Organisms are broken up into different classifications or orders, as it's called insect taxonomy. And that describes how the organisms and the plants are broken down. As you see, I have, I believe, all the insects here except for the one prior with the walking sticks, and that was Phasmatodea. It was showing it. That's the Latin. I'll tell you what, all these Latin words, they're good. They're great for when you want to find a plant that's a Florida natural or a Florida user-friendly plant and not an invasive. So that's how you can distinguish between, especially with the butterfly weeds. Or you could find out, what is that strange looking bug on my front door? Or you took Latin in high school when you want to practice some of your Latin, or taking the herbology class at Hogwarts. So those would be different ways that you could use your Latin. Here we have it broken down. I have the different orders. You notice some of the orders just have one type of insect in it, like the Manatidea has manatees. There's a lot of beetles. And by the way, beetles go way back to like 295 million years ago, even before dinosaurs. So they mostly ate wood and wood byproducts and rotting wood. But as they were crawling across all the plants, they were also pollinating. So they were one of the earlier pollinators. The Hymenoptera, I took Spanish in high school, not Latin. The Hymenoptera order, the ants are the decomposers. So you have herbivores, carnivores, and omnivores, which is little of herbivore and carnivore, depending on the time of the stage of the insect. So there are complete stages of insect. There's a complete metamorphosis and an incomplete. The complete has the egg, the larva, the pupa, and the adult, where the incomplete has the egg, the nymph, and the adult. So how do beneficiaries find their smorgasbord of insect delectables? Well, they use their eyes, chemical cues, foraging techniques, and bee dances. Eyes, bro, you can't get it any bigger than that. The simple eyes off to the left here are 3 simple eyes, and they're called ocelli. And the ocelli are used as a sensory photoreceptor, and they can detect light, and it helps control their circadian rhythms, but it does not detect complex images, movements, or orientation. That's what the compound eyes are for, or the Omatidea. And think of these eyes as a bunch of straws stuck together. And you're looking at these through the ends of the straws. And inside of each one of those straws is a self-contained unit that has a lens, pigments, and light receptors. Most insects have both of these. Some of them will use the 3 in a triangular form, but they're mostly concerned with the larger ones. And okay, this is just okay. Go to the next one. So, slides, as you can see, the eyes. Now think of yourself as you're wearing corrective lenses, and you really, really need them to see far away. So if you took your glasses off and you're looking far away, you will just see shapes and some color, and it'll be all pixelated. And that's the way insects see. They cannot focus with a light like we can focus light. They are more into the blue, greens, and ultraviolet, the core sides of the color scale for what colors they can see. You can have red flowers and everything. They will detect those, but they will see more like blues or purples and those type of colors. The ultraviolet light, think of oh, Taylor, it just all went away. I'm sorry. I tried to click off one of those advertisement things. Okay, so the ultraviolet light down here, think of a black light. And so this is how insects can be attracted to some of the plants. In this case, the blue light down there is setting off. Okay.
Don't use the mouse.
How do I make that go down without hitting anything else?
Okay.
Yeah, okay. No, you do what?
Give you more space on it.
Okay, thanks. Sorry about that. So they can detect this through chemical and ultraviolet lights that the plants are giving out. Plants have their own language. So they're saying, oh, wait, come on over here. This is a good place to come to. You can come and eat. It's like a neon light at a restaurant. That's says, come and eat at, come on. Oh, here, oh no, I'm not going to do that. Sorry, screwing it up. Come and eat at Billy's Bug Buffet or Neon Lights, showing the insect. Is this where they can get the receptors to come into the plant? So you have plants and insects that come together, and that's how they are a lot of times attracted to them. Dragonflies. They will approach their prey from underneath, and damselflies will approach them from straight on. I got it. It just went off to another little tangent over there. Chemical cues. These are very interesting. There are chemical receptors on the insects in various different places called syncytia, and they could be either the mouth, the antenna, the legs, and the wing margins, or the ovipositor. Now, the mouth will be taste or the gustatory, along with the antenna, the legs, and the ovipositor. And as we can see in the middle, there is a mosquito laying an egg. Host plants will give off chemical cues, and it's been kind of said that some larvae can find the host plant because that's the plant that they ate from when they were in the larva stage, and then they become the adult stage, and that will direct them back to that type of plant again. Foraging techniques. Beetles are great solitary foragers. They will eat dead or living plants and organisms. Some of your beneficial ones, as you get lady beetles or ladybugs, and the tiger, soldier, rove, American burian, and the fiery searcher, which I have displayed right here. The fiery searcher is very pretty with metallic colors, and it is a large ground beetle, and it's called the caterpillar hunter. During the day, it'll hide in a cool place, but it'll come out to hunt in the evening, and it releases a nasty, defensive, musky odor, and it has a nasty bite. And when the eggs come out of the soil as larvae, they are hungry, 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 and they were looking for anything to eat. They're looking for Brunhilde's all-you-can-eat beetle buffet. Unfortunately, they will feed on butterfly and moth larvae. Also, bees are central foragers, which means that they go back to the same place, whether it's the hive or whether they're solitary bees and they're going back to their place in the ground. Now, bees will send out scouts. They are forager bees. All forager bees are females. The male's sole purpose is to mate with the queen, and then they're done with it. So they will send out scouts. The scouts will look for nectar or food, and the food they will find in different places, depending on how much food they find, and they get it all over their bodies, and they have all these little nice stiff hairs, and they can roll it up into balls and even use some regurgitated nectar to get more of the little pellets, and they buzz back to the hive. Now they're going to do some dances, and this isn't the twist or the Texas two-step. These are the way the bees move to determine the direction on some of the dances from the sun, and they follow and use the sun a lot, to where the sun and the hive is located. If the flower source is within less than 35 yards, they'll do the round dance. If it's more than 35 yards, they'll do the waggle dance, and that also shows direction. There's information all at the end of the slide that goes in more into depth with a lot of this stuff about the dances and bees. A shake dance will show that there's a lot of pollen out there. Bring the troops out. We need a bunch of bees out there to forage and bring it back. And if they bring back too many, then there's the tremble dance saying we need a lot of people, a lot of bees in the hive to take care of the nectar that we brought in. Okay, I like to do what I call OR. Observe, research, and experiment. You observe the surroundings, where the insects are going. Are they going to certain plants in your yard, certain plants in your neighbor's yard? Are they attracted to native plants? You research. That's how you can find out what type of plants and insects you want to pair together. And then don't be afraid to experiment. I took a quick little quiz. It was called, "What Florida Insect Are You?" at BuzzFeed.com. And it turns out that I'm an Eastern bumblebee. Go figure. I don't know. It should be one of those insects that's spastic. The zebra longwing, if you don't have any coming to your yard, and by the way, it's the Florida state butterfly. It's hot stuff. It likes a passion flower along with, or it's often called a maypop, along with the Gulf fritillary. So if you would like to attract some, you would plant a passion flower vine and make sure you have a trellis or something for it to climb up on. And it is a Florida native. So it will be coming back. I'm sorry, I am having technical difficulties here. There we go. All right, figured it out. It will be coming back the next year. It will die off, but then it will, if you mulch around it, it'll be good to go for the next year. Moths. We don't think a lot about moths, but moths are maybe even some better than some butterflies for pollinate. This moth that we have here is a scarlet-bodied wasp moth, and it is beneficial because it will pollinate some plants. It lays its eggs on a hemp vine, which is a daisy, belongs to the daisy family, and the females do not eat. That is common in a lot of butterflies and moths. The females will not eat. Their sole purpose is to mate, lay eggs, and then they're done. The male, however, does eat, and it eats dog fennel, and it absorbs a defensive compound called paralizidine alkaloid. And there's a natural toxins in a lot of plants. And this passes on from the male to the female and then to the egg, and it helps protect them against predators. Okay, the next one is the creepy crawly. Ew. It's like, ooh, Boris, they give me the heebie-jeebies. One of my favorite arthropods, spiders. Spiders are great. They are just interesting to watch. I have 3 types of spiders here. One is a web spider. The black yellow garden spider is a orb weaver, and you can tell that this is this kind because of the zigzag pattern within the web. The other one is a green lynx. They are very good mother spiders. They take care of the babies when they're in the sac, and then when the little spiderlings hatch, they wait for them to be healthy enough to go down into the ground in winter. And of course, the jumping spider. They're just so cute. They're just like little fuzzy, like little tarantulas. I know, I'm sick. This is a female. And it's only because of the coloring and everything and my research that I found on female. They jump for their prey. They do not make webs. They'll make silk enclosures for them to perhaps lay their eggs and other things. I'm hungry. We're all hungry. So let's eat. You have a nectar feeder and you have another jumping spider eating another predator. Some pollinating and host plants that you can have. I have a variety here of trees, shrubs, vines, grasses, ground cover perennials, and annuals. Put all of them in. The more variety you have, the more variety of insects you're going to have with you. This is a crepe myrtle off to the side, and down below, crepe myrtle sometimes will get aphids, mealyworm, mealybugs, and such. So down below we have the mealybug. Let's see. Sorry about that. I just if you see the sometimes. It's the mealybug. It's a carnivore. It's not a mealybug. It's the larva of this. It's the mealybug destroyer. I apologize. It's a mealybug destroyer, and that's the beetle that you see. And then a white fuzzy thing that actually looks like a mealybug. It's in camouflage too. It is the mealybug destroyer larva. So it will eat those aphids and scale and all the other things that destroy your plants. Aphids are a food for a lot of plants or for a lot of insects. So they might as well they must be very, very tasty. So they might as well be as on the menu as I'll have aphids on a leaf for dessert, please. Spanish needles, I know. A lot of people don't like Spanish needles. It's my favorite flower. It grows everywhere, wild, and it pollinates, and it's a host for the dainty sulfur butterfly. And it's an herb, actually. So that makes me feel better that it's an herb. So I'm growing an herb instead of weeds in my yard. Another one is the red bottle brush shrub. It's not a native evergreen, but it is a great pollinator and attracts all types of insects and hummingbirds. And it's very user-friendly for this weather and the soil. Joe Pye weed is another Florida native. Again, when you have Florida native plants, you will attract the insects, and the insects will then come to the plants. That's what they're used to eating. The plants are used to the soil. Home sweet home. You could have an area that is undisturbed, natural area, which you should have somewhere in your yard. You can make some bug houses. Here's some areas here. There's snags or brush piles, as you can see in this snag. Aww. Off to the left, a dragonfly. It's kind of hidden there. You have leaf matter, some rocks, and other things that will naturally go onto the ground. It's good to leave this stuff stay there or have an area in the ground to have it, because there are beetles and other insects that will go in there for shelter, lay their egg, have their house. You don't want to dig up all the earth around it, because now you're disturbing everything that's down there that's making the earth the way it should be and the soil the way it should be for the plants. Bees, I could go on and on forever with bees. There should just be a whole Florida-friendly landscape presentation on bees. You can make your own house. It looks off to the left. It can be as simple as logs where you drill different size holes in it. Different types of bees will require different size holes so that they can go and lay their eggs. You have the bumble, digger miner, and sweat bees will lay their eggs into the ground and have little ones in the ground. You have your carpenter and your leaf cutters who can go inside of open spaces. The watering hole. All insects need water and moisture. We have several here. My favorite, it's back to school show and tell. Okay, so my favorite is just finding a saucer, a terracotta saucer, and putting some stones in it and just putting water into it. You shouldn't really use city water if it's all chlorinated and stuff. Put it off to the side. You're shaking your head. How do you take your water and you don't boil it or anything, get it out. You just leave it sit for a couple of days.
We just had city water. No,
Yeah.
no.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Rain, yeah. Okay, rainwater, right, that's good. If you have well water, it's okay. What? You have a dechlorinator? Okay, chlorine dechlorinator removes heavy metals and chlorine and stuff. So that's good. So you know not to use your water that has chemicals in it to put out. So you can see there's several things. There's I think this is cute. The little pond in a pot. You have the fruit, yes, because butterflies actually are foragers and they will go for the fruit. And well, that's cool. Bananas, is that their favorite? But, oh, well, yeah, you have to watch for other things. Hey, welcome. Everyone's welcome at the bug buffet.
If anybody wants passion flowers, my yard is infested with them, and I literally threw up probably 2 garbage bags. I have the purple ones I used to have, the white, and used to have the blue.
Okay. Second row back, second chair in. Don't you know your name? But she has the passion flower. So yeah. Oh, all right there. Road trip to Yulee. There we go. Even like male butterflies will puddle in the soil to get nutrients, minerals, and stuff as they're sucking that up. And that will show that they are macho male butterflies, and the females will be attracted to them and mate with them and pass it on. Now, we're going to play a little game here called Where's the Arthropod? Dun, 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 dun. Okay, there's 8 of them here. Can you find them? Skipper, well, I'm moving away from this sword. Skipper, dragonfly, the lubber. I just love the markings on the thing. Couple bees, a spider within a little silken nest, and way off, grasshopper, and that green thing, I'm still researching. Research to find out what it is. Really?
They start out little black and orange.
Mhm.
And I'll lift up a pot and there will be literally 1,000 of them under it. And then within weeks, they're those giant.
Yeah, the lubbers.
All 1 week.
Oh, no. Well, when you see them when they're babies, just, yeah. All right, everyone has their own type of garden personality. I am, and I must admit it, I'm admitting it to you all today, I'm a lazy gardener. It's awful. I've been going to LGA for a long time now, Lazy Gardeners Anonymous. And I like low maintenance, asymmetrical, natural flowing, some pots and planters and a combination. And I like all the natural plants because they are acclimated to the soil, the climate, and they do the best. This is a pathetic looking yard. I can't imagine who it belongs to, but it has potential. It has a lot of potential. It's a work in the making. So what you do is test the soil first. This is probably acidic because there's a lot of pines. It started with an area to build it up. Now you're going to find out where all the elements are coming in. Sun, a lot of sun, a little bit. There's some shade here. You can actually put houseplants underneath the trees. And then there's mottled sun and shade where you can put other plants that maybe some Shade-loving plants, some other plants will do in both situations. Remove weeds, dead matter, and invasive plants. Amend the soil. Locate your water source. Research your plants and insects. Draw up a plan and always call 811 before digging so that you don't dig into some kind of electrical line and now you've just closed down your whole area. Plant placement can go into the ground in clusters. Try to plant plants all seasons. Do similar care with them. Group them in colors. Same here, same there. So you have some insects coming and then a variety of flowers in some areas. Trees, shrubs, vines. Do plant all of these. Trees, shrubs, vines, grasses, sedges, ground cover, annuals, and perennials. Avoid hybrids because they don't have really good nectar. Always incorporate native plants. They don't have to, it doesn't have to be all free flowing and messy. You don't have to plant everything at once. And of course, mulch where you need it. Here's how to incorporate the native plants. We kind of discussed. They're great for the climate, the soil. They were there. Remember, before you cleared everything out and did that house, the plants and the insects were there. So you want to bring the insects and other living organisms back. So you want to start planting the native plants. Research. This is great. You'll see this at our tabling events. It's put out by the Florida Wildflower Association or Foundation, and it has information inside, a little key up to the top, and it tells you all about the plant, the hardiness zone, how you can get it to pollinate. And speaking of pollinating, seed preservation is probably one of your best ways to pollinate. There's also a flyer that you can get. And at the end, it has where you can contact the Florida Wildflower Foundation. Pick seeds from healthy plants. We have two types of native plants here. Off to the right is a rattlesnake master. Left is a narrow-leaf ironweed. They're both in seed. There's a whole different resources where they'll tell you how to collect the seeds, how to prep for them, how to store them. You can become your own little seed bank, and certain seeds you can put into the refrigerator or the freezer for a period of time where they'll still be okay for the next year. It's best to get seeds from plants that are hybrid, or I'm sorry, not hybrid, but heirloom plants. That way it'll stay more true to the plant itself, along with your open air type of plants. Hybridization is a crossbreed between two different plants. Unless you want to be a mad plant scientist, you may not want to go that direction. Also in Norway, on an island, and I can't get my information up here and I don't remember that stuff, but they have this global seed bank where there's millions of seeds stored there. And the purpose of this is for seed preservation for in the future, so you will still have plants with the seeds to be growing. And finally, cultivate junior gardeners, because you can make it a friendly area for them where you can actually have their own little zone in the garden. Get them their own little equipment to work with. And maybe have a little table and chairs where they can work. Tell them about the insects. Tell them about all the plants that you've learned about, or how the insects are our friends. Sit with them in a nice quiet moment and watch the insects and what they do. They can make you a little sign, Lizzie's Flower Patch or Bobby's Bug Buffet. Personalize it, make a fairy garden. Or if you want to, closer to the winter, you can take the outside in and make a terrarium with them. And as they say, in conclusion, the only good bug is a dead bug is hardly from the truth, because You can watch and identify the insects in their different life cycles and stages before you go into the ultimate squish mode, because they might just be your beneficial buggy buddy, helping you out with your gardening adventures. And remember to observe, research, experiment, be patient. Gardening is not for sissies. And I had a rainflower, bulbs from rainflower that somebody had given me. And I was, I'm thinking, oh, they're not coming back. They're dead. Rain, and we've had rain. The rain came out, and the next thing you know, 1, 2, and then the whole row. It was great. I was happy. I didn't kill another plant. So with all that in mind, we have some information where you can find native plants. Actually, Amelia's Native Wildflowers is one of our master gardeners. She was in the class with me, Lindsay, and it's right here in Yulee. I'm recommending reading. There are a lot of bug books. And of course, references and how you can contact the office here at Nassau County. I didn't even get to give you half of the information that I learned. But I cut out a lot of slides already. So did I do okay with time-wise?
Great with time.
Okay. Yeah, okay, Clever. She did good with the time. She did good with the time. She screwed everything else up. We'll give it an A+ for the time.
We have some time for questions, and I have to make sure I pull up the questions here because we did get some questions online, but for some reason I could not see them in the back. So, all right. So one thing I really appreciate about Paula is when we think about pollinators and like some of the beneficial insects, our minds immediately go to like bees and butterflies and stuff like that, right? So when we think about beneficial insects, when we think about how many are actually pests, it's roughly 1% are actually pests. The remaining are either beneficial or benign. So when we think of things like beetles and our spiders, they all have a significant, important role that they play in our landscapes. So by either accepting that they're there because they have a role, even if they give us the willies or the heebie-jeebies, it's important. So I think it's how we communicate that is also really valuable as well. And we will provide these resources to everybody. So especially some of the documents, like we have some resources about how to plant a butterfly garden, how to select specific plants for specific beneficial insects. So there's a lot of resources from the university that we'll make sure that we provide to everybody that was able to register. So Paula, thank you so much, and everybody online. And we have some time that we can do some questions, and we will make sure that we try to follow up with an email with these resources as well for everybody. So any questions? Audience. All right, one that we do have, Polly may help us with this one, is any advice for ground cover that helps improve very sandy soils? Ooh, how many of you deal with sandy soils in your gardens, your landscapes? Everybody. Yeah. So there are a couple different strategies that we can do to improve sandy soils. Underneath the principle of right plant, right place of the flora-friendly landscaping program, we could just select plants that do really well in those well-drained soils, and then they'll thrive in that condition. That's what they are made to do. So now Florida is a very sandy place. Like Nassau County, we have, the least sandy county of most of the state. And even at that, we're considered sandy soils compared to the rest of the world. So we have soils that drain really well. But part of when we start to think about, okay, what can I do to help amend or provide nutrients to my soils? Sometimes we think of like perennial cover crops that you could use for, like, say you're in a vegetable garden. But our goal is, if we want to improve the organic matter within soil, we can't necessarily change the soil composition just because that takes thousands and thousands of years to do. But we can provide organic matter through soil amendments. We can till them in, or we can do different types of ground covers that might help break down and provide some of the nutrients back into the soil. So some of the things that we can always use is if we have leaves, chip them up let them stay on the ground, let them decompose, let them break down. We also have some ground covers like perennial peanut is a great example of it loves those really sandy soils, but it fixes its own nitrogen. So it's able to take atmospheric nitrogen and bring it down into its roots through a bacterial relationship that it has. So you never have to fertilize it. So you're not going to be necessarily concerned. But then as that leaf litter that's there kind of breaks down, you'll see some organic matter start to accumulate, but that takes time. So typically we can look at strategies to help improve soil, but typically the best strategy is right plant, right place, and selecting those things that do best in the existing conditions. So if we have really sandy soils that drain well, let's prioritize the plants that really like those sandy conditions and that soil that drains really well. Yeah, frog fruit, turkey tangle is a great example. Yeah, red Clemson clover has a great ground cover for like winter. Would be wonderful.
Flowers and stuff.
Yep. Yeah. So yeah, and turkey tangle grows everywhere, and it's a great pollinator. So you. Hey, dollarweed is a native plant, and it's a pollinator source. So it just gets a bad rep in our turf grass. So. Oh, so the small ones, it could be dichondra, which looks like dollarweed, just smaller. So it's not going to be the perfectly round as well. But I do know some people that they have dichondra and it's beautiful, works great, and they just let that be their ground cover. So sometimes in those like areas that you can allow it, let nature decide it grows well there. As long as it's not invasive, you should be okay. So.
I don't know what it is. Somebody gave it to me in a hanging plant and I put
Oh,
it up.
Chanel. It's probably a Chanel plant. So it's got like short little red flowers. Yeah.
Like little baby bottle growers about that big.
Yeah.
My whole backyard is covered with it. The guy mows my yard now.
And just spreads it. Be careful because it can get a little too aggressive. Is it a Chanel or a Chenille? Chanel. Chanel's the brand, right? And are they spelled the same? Something like that. I don't know. It's a perfume plant. Yeah. But no, that's a great, those are great like hanging basket plants as well. So there was a question because I did mention perennial peanut. Where can you find perennial peanut? So there are a couple locations that you can find perennial peanut. You can get the local nurseries. A lot of times they'll have it in like containers. You can even get it as flats, like small little plugs. There are some places, I think there's one place in Jacksonville, all of a sudden it's skipping my brain, but you can actually get it as like cut sod. So we have some really cool producers that are testing statewide for production of cut sod turkey tangle and perennial peanut in mixtures of them. So just because there's a high enough demand for them, I mean, we have communities that are now planting a lot of perennial peanut in low use areas where they don't want to fertilize, they want to minimize maintenance inputs. It's this huge plant selecting for around ponds. So you get that look in some communities. It looks like turf grass on the pond, but that's not bad for water quality. But you have a plant that can fill in around a pond that requires zero maintenance, and it kind of just lives and thrives in that space. It still maintains that aesthetic impact. Lindsay.
I just want to point out that frog fruit is not in the Fabaceae family. Anything that is will fix nitrogen. So we have our native spur butterfly peas. Sunshine mimosa is actually a nitrogen fixer. And any like hairy vetch, which you'll find a lot of, just stick to it, all the peas that stick to it.
Yeah.
So those are ones that you can grow in their well-shaded grass soils.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Railroad vine is a really great example, but it's not fixing its own nitrogen, of course. But yeah, so we have a lot of great ground covers. So our native peas, make sure it's a native pea if you're using those because they will fix their own nitrogen, because a lot of our non-native peas are very aggressive and a lot of them are invasive as well. So, but we can send out some resources on how to help find those. The university has a whole list of invasive plant species. So you can type in pretty much any plant and you can see if it's classified as invasive high risk, or a caution plant in North Florida, which is really helpful. So that's the IFAS assessment webpage.
Yeah, so you can get in there and just ask something and always.
Yeah. So there's a lot of different resources that we have available for that to help with that plant selection. And as always, I want to thank everybody for coming. I think we're able to get everyone's questions online. Are there any other questions from anyone in the audience? All right, well, thank you so much, Paula, and thanks everybody for joining us today. Thank you all for signing in. Amanda, can you get the AC turned down for me, please? Thank you all for joining us today. I'm gonna go ahead and sign out.